Hello. Hello, hello. Oh. Hi. I've popped up. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? First off, happy Easter. I'd give this to you, but of course I am just pixels on your screen. Happy Easter, everyone. Second of all, for those who don't know, I was sick for the past week, so I'm still a little bit sick. So if I start like coughing and wheezing, it's simply because I've still got a bit of a fever. But nothing extreme, so don't worry. Just a bit yucky, you know? But who cares? Who cares about that? Because it's One Piece time. And the last chapter was on a break. We don't have a break next week either. Oda, you're killing me, man. You're killing me, man. But I'm still excited for it. For me, break weeks are a good catch-up week for my content, which is why I enjoy them. But at the same time, non-break weeks mean I get the next chapter faster like all of you. So that's fine. One Piece, Easter, and 420. You're right. It's not 420 anymore for me, but you're correct, actually. So yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Hello, YouTube chatters. I know you're there. You've been suspiciously quiet, but I know I can see you. Don't worry. So yeah, let's get into it. I just want to read One Piece, as always. That's why there's so much chocolate around. Yep. Indeed, that is the reason. Alright, so last chapter ended on, I'm literally doing a chapter review. Gunko popping up and about to fight the Straw Hats with Colin. Gotcha. Alright, alrighty everyone. So I'm always read the chapters on Shonen Jump's official app, or Viz. I haven't been spoiled. I have not been spoiled this week at all. Once again, I've avoided all the spoilers. Everything. And I always know. I'm just really good at it. Viz is open. Alright, let's get into it. Ooh. Chapter 1146, Motion in Stillness. And the cover art is, I'll never forget the debt I owe you. I'll be your follower for life. Which is Ulti talking to Yamato. So Yamato is going to end up having Kaido's leftover pirates following him. I called it. I was saying this since Wano. Not just Yamato's harem, but Yamato as a leader. I was saying this since Wano. That the reason I couldn't see Yamato joining the Straw Hats is because once Kaido's gone, Kaido's little hooligans are still going to be around Wano. Who the hell are they going to follow? Yamato! It makes the most sense. So, I did guess this. Well, Black Maria and Sasaki join him too. Excuse me. Excuse me, Flamingo. How dare you? I hope so. I would love Black Maria to join Yamato. Yamato's the new, the new, like, Ogre King. You know what I mean? He's the last son, he's the only son of Kaido. Who else are they going to follow? It just makes the most sense. That's beautiful, though. Maybe Ulti will fall in love with Yamato. Yamato, your harem will become huge and prosperous. I just know it. Sorry, I really like page 1 in the back going, buh. That's so sweet, though. I'm actually excited for this. I'm excited for Yamato to be the new, Animal King captain. Beast Pirate captain, whatever the hell. And to collect Kaido's former crewmates and to create better from them. Do you know what I mean? I'm actually very excited to see that because I always thought that would make sense for Yamato as his role on Wano. Hence why I never thought Yamato was going to join the Straw Hats, because I was like, it feels there's too much of a connection with Yamato and Wano for him to leave. So that makes sense. Kaido can still come back. I don't think personally Kaido is going to come back, but Kaido can still come back. He just won't be relevant to Wano anymore. It's just that simple. In the same way Crocodile came back and Baroque Works isn't a thing anymore. All Crocodile has is Daz Bones, and I love Daz Bones. And also Buggy and Mihawk, but Buggy and Mihawk weren't Baroque Works, were they? But no. Sorry. I can see King following Yamato. And I can see King joining Luffy's side because the mural showed Lunarians, right? And I can see King realizing for the new dawn, he has to follow Joy Boy, which is Luffy, right? That makes sense to me. So I can see Yamato maybe helping King and having King join him. And Kaido said he would be defeated by Joy Boy, exactly. And so begins Yamato as the new King Oni. Simple as that. Simple as that. Oh god, I hope Yamato gets massive. Like Kaido. Queen, I think Queen's gonna run off to Mads. I think the only reason Queen was with Kaido was for the power. I don't think Queen truly really believed in, like, you know, piracy, supposedly. It's the same with Caesar and Doffy, right? Caesar was happy to leave Doffy like that. I don't think Queen really is that loyal exactly to a captain. I think Queen's loyalty lies in power and science and whoever will fund his experiments. So Queen will probably get back with Mads. Probably. Yeah, Queen's gonna join the Polycule. The Caesar Judge Polycule. I can see it. I can see it happening. That's so beautiful, though. I'm happy for Oti and Yamato on page 1. So Wano is really gonna get cleaned up. It's really gonna get cleaned up, and it's gonna become really safe thanks to Yamato. That's very obvious here. But I do wonder what's gonna happen to Who's Who. If Who's gonna get locked up. Whatever. Fuck the bucket hat. I didn't want to mention it. Sorry, we'll move on. Okay, chapter 1146, Motion in Stillness. Sorry, I just love being right. I love being right, and I knew that this was going to happen with Yamato. I say it like I'm Oda. I didn't know, but I guessed. Alright. Alright, hey, who are you? I'm guessing it's an intruder. Intruder? One of the human intruders who the castle guards couldn't handle. You're the ones who are kidnapping the children, then. You dare call me a human? We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that, but I have things to say. Especially Brook going, but I have things to say about that. We are gods. Gods? You sound like Enel, Eneru, or the celestial dragons. What would gods want with the children of Elbaf? Yeah, what she said. Those are my friends. Yeah, what she said. I love you, Colin. Those are my friends. Where are you taking them? Give back my friends. Hold your tongue, boy. I gotta look at the art. I really like the art. Oh, okay. We'd prefer a simpler method, but at that size, our options are limited. Oh, Frankie's been blasted. Oh, Lilith and Bonnie being helped by Ripley's so cute. So they'll just have to walk. We will take them to the Holy Land via an appropriate route. The Holy Land, Marie-Joie. Are you a celestial dragon then? What? You mean those ugly, annoying... Wait! You don't look like the ones I'm thinking of. I suspect it's something above that. The Holy Knights. Brook knowing this is really cool. I'm very happy about that. Because remember, Brook would come in clutch a few times when it comes to history. Because Brook is fucking old. Remember when they mentioned the Vinsmokes and Brook was like, what? The Vinsmokes, the German kingdom? He knew who they were because the Vinsmokes had been around in his time, and he was like, this cannot be. And now when they mentioned Roger, he was like, ah yes, an up-and-comer. The Pirate King, and he was like, the rookie? Brook is fucking old. So Brook knowing the Holy Knights is a very, very, very good detail. This is making me wonder if we're going to be learning more about Brook's past. Because remember, Brook used to serve a kingdom as a knight. Or as a guard. Not a royal guard, but as a guard, right? So he would know quite a bit about world politics being in that position. So, it's gonna be good fun to see if we get some interesting Brook backstory. Brook Whole Cake Island. This is it! This is Brook's Whole Cake Island! No, if any- I've always said if anyone could have a Whole Cake Island, it's Brook. He's specifically the one that could have a Whole Cake Island. Because Brook has a past before being a pirate that we don't know anything about. Nothing about. We haven't seen Brook as an infant baby. Nor have we seen Brook's like home island or anything. We don't know anything about Brook's past. Brook next Straw Hat? Damn, I didn't think about that. He could be the next Straw Hat. Baby Bones. I suspect it's something. Okay, the Holy Knights, the very same. Does that mean you're capturing all those kids to turn them into slaves? Ah, hey, what's this arrow doing? Oh god, she's targeting them to hit all of them. They don't know. They don't know. You'll do no such things. Zeus, did you call for me, Nami? Ah, why does it keep chasing me? Get off. Power is just terrifying. It is really terrifying in my opinion. Oh, shark! Thunder shark! Tempo, this is new! One day the world... Oh my goodness! A shark? Why a shark? That's crazy. One day the world as we know it will cease to exist. Or so we thought. Run, Nami, look out. Oh my god. You turned... Oh! Ika, I'm sorry, Nami! No! Oh my god. Oh, it's Brook! Fuck, sorry, it got me. It's me. What? You? Thank you. That got me bad. Wait, that's a really good side gag. Oh god, that got me. It's me. Thumbs up. But a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger. Ooh, bullseye. You thought we'd be intimidated by celestial dragons. Ah, you didn't have to be so gruesome, Usopp. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow your upper half off. What? Ew, I felt bad for her, but the way she's regenerating is really gross. Nami, you're right, it's really creepy seeing someone come back to life. ... What the fuck is going on? Oda's on his A game with these gags. He's on his A game right now. What is happening? This is why I like One Piece, because we're learning some like scary stuff, but I'm still having a laugh. Eek! Alright. Skull joke. And now it is unstoppable. I really, really like this art though, of her body reforming. That's really cool. No one can stop it. I had a feeling these arrows are pointing towards the targets of her attacks. We've got this one, Usopp. It would be the height of folly to take a hit as predicted. The countdown has begun. Oh! A vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it. Sorry, I'm looking at the art. Oh my god, Loki big and fat from all the meat. That's Luffy, sorry. And which side the giants pledge their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of war. Oh, Luffy's big and round with him. Loki is like all the parts of my favorite characters. This is probably why I really like Loki. Oh gosh, Loki has some parallels with so many people right now. That's so cute. Gunko is like talking about the world's end. Meanwhile, I'm like, haha, Loki. Sorry. A vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it, and which side the giants pledge their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. So they are aware. They are aware of the prophecy, I assume. The whole world at war, that would never happen. So you're trying to seize control of Elbaf in preparation for it by taking children as hostages. What cheap cowardice. I perform my duty as commanded, but it could all be for nothing. The lives of a few children might as well be trash to me. I do not understand the concept of hostages. What's wrong with you? You got a few screws loose. Oh, fight you. Oh, baby. No. Oh, and he got caught. Colin, 5,000 brick Gavet. Oh. Hello. Okay, so they stabbed each other. Yeah, Gunko's power freaks me out. Because it's like inescapable when she's pointed her arrows at you. Oh, Nami. Take this. Yeah, so they're getting clobbered by Gunko. As I had thought. The art's really good. Sorry, I'm just looking at the art. How's it looking? You all set up killing him. Oh god, Colin's being kidnapped. The means of communication are so inadequate in Elbaf. No kidding, but it seems like every village and important facility has its own transmission tool. No, Principal Tusk. Corner, nice hard corner. Who is saying that? Killing him. Oh, okay, he's throwing him down. Mr. Principal, I can't move. Yes, that's because your body has been slumbertized. It's this big one, right? I've never heard of a transponder pill bug. Try talking through the transponder snail, Summers. This should send it all across Elbaf. Alright, I'll give it a shot. Killingham's boots are awesome, sorry. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. Oh, sorry, I just saw Robin. Just give me a minute first, Killingham. He's almost down. This is the guy who should have died at O'Hara. Oda! Are you winking at us? Sorry, that is a crazy line. That is a crazy line with how many people were fucking arguing about Saul being alive. Oda is fucking with you. Oda said, fuck you. I have a lot to say here, but give me a second. This is the guy who should have died at O'Hara. The former Vice Admiral. Robin, Chopper, don't come out. Stay hidden from the back of my head. Saul, you gotta help rescue the children for me. You gotta. Gihaha, come on, fall forward. I just accidentally closed the chapter! I pressed the wrong button. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Oh my god. Give me a moment. Hang on, I just accidentally closed it. Oh my god, I'm killing you. Okay, let's try this again. Sorry for that. I was too busy laughing and I pressed my fat fingers. Alright. You gotta help. Okay, come on, fall forward. And down he goes! That's what I said they should have said with Loki. Timber! Oh, poor Robin. Schools, libraries, what kind of peace-loving nonsense is this? You people are warriors. You're going to use the vicious, violent power that once terrified the world in service to us as mercenaries. Isn't that right, King Harold? And then stupid Harold had to go and screw it all up. Interesting. Interesting. I don't think this is Harold confirmed a bum, I must say. Because I still don't know if Harold was being tricked or coerced or not. But it is pointing towards he knew what the world government wanted from them and he went along with it for a time. It doesn't make him look good. I'll say that much. It doesn't make him look good. But when they say Harold screwed it all up, What do you think they mean from that? Do you think they mean that Harold let me think. Do you think that means that Harold willingly diverted from what the world government wanted from him, or do you think Harold went and got himself killed by his own son? That could be two things. It could mean two things. Sorry, my sickness. Because I'm thinking it's either Harold decided, no, I don't want to work with the world government, and he pivoted away from what the world government wanted of Elbaf and tried to educate Elbaf, or it means that Harold was prepping Elbaf for what the world government wanted, and Loki saw that and went, fuck you, I'm killing you. If he asked Loki to kill him, it's either or right now. Look, Harold's not looking good, but it was Harold's idea for the library. See, so that does point towards that Harold was trying to help Elbaf, but at the same time, who knows? Like, I'm not sure, because if Harold was trying to pivot Elbaf away from the world government, why would Loki kill him? Because no, I don't believe Loki is just a fucking murderous monster. And Loki, like, even said, like, they all think I killed Harold with hate, with nothing but hate, but you know that's not true, basically. And I do not believe Loki's lying about that, because I actually don't think Loki's a liar. I think what Oda's doing is making us think Loki's a liar when everything he's saying is pretty true. Did Saul know Harold? I think Saul was a bit late for Harold's time. This is making me realize, though, because Harold pulled his horns out of his head. So basically, what I'm sensing, I'm leaning more towards Harold was trying to fix Elbaf. To help Elbaf. And, King Harold saw that the world government was trying to use Elbaf's might and power and warrior ways as the world government's tool, and Harold said, no, I totally remove myself and Elbaf from that, and ripped his horns out. It feels like he's less disgusted by the giant's blood he has in his veins and more a statement to the world government. So Harold's still on thin ice, but it seems for a time he did work with the world government. That's what makes him on thin ice. But mistakes are made, right? Mistakes can be made. And this is only making it more interesting for why Loki killed Harold. Because again, I do not believe Loki to be a bad guy. I do not believe him to be evil. And remember, Loki has a special bounty on his head. That special bounty could be from killing Harold, because the world government needed Harold to shape Elbaf for them. That's another thing. Harold could have made a deal with the world government as well. I was suspecting that Harold wanted to bring Elbaf into the world government, because when you're part of the world government, you get to be part of the Reverie to an extent, and then you get more power. And I sense that Harold used to be power hungry. I think he did used to be a power hungry king of Elbaf, the way a lot of giants seem to crave power or crave strength, right? It would make sense that Harold would want that kind of power, at least early on, just to realize a mistake has been made. I think Loki did kill Harold because Loki didn't deny it. When Hyduden was talking to Loki, Loki said, "Everyone thinks I killed our father with hate in my heart, but you know that's not the truth." I don't see Loki denying that he killed Harold. I see Loki denying that he killed Harold out of a malicious intention. Everyone thinks Loki just killed Harold because he hates him, but Loki was basically saying, I didn't do it because I just hated him. There's more to it than that. Mercy killing? Well, the way I see it is it could either be mercy killing or it could be Loki trying to better Elbaf without Harold there. Because if you're Loki and you find out your dad has been working with the world government, right? And Elbaf is essentially being shaped into a weapon for the world government, would that not frustrate you? Would you not think that if you knew that truth, that Elbaf would be better off without this guy? I have the opinion that Loki really greatly cares for Elbaf. This is why it's up in the air right now, because it's either Loki did have a good connection with his father, but his father made mistakes, or his father made mistakes and Loki didn't have a good connection with his father and he saw his father's mistakes and went, holy fuck, you've ruined this island. Like, it's very possible Harold made Elbaf a target. And that's the issue, right? It is very possible that Harold catapulted Elbaf into the world government's sphere. And that is the reckoning of Elbaf. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the beginning of the end. Cheapening their warrior spirit in service of the world government. That too. That's another thing. The pride of Elbaf being warriors is interesting because Usopp, right, and Luffy were really excited for that. Dorian Broggy inspired Luffy and Usopp with that Elbaf spirit, correct? Colin exists as wanting to continue that Elbaf spirit. And I was wondering, why is Oda presenting it this way, that a peaceful Elbaf is a bad Elbaf? And it's not because it's a peaceful Elbaf, it's because it's made out of desperation. And it's made out of a mistake that's needing to be fixed. I don't think the giants of Elbaf should be ashamed of that warrior way they have, because there's a difference between a warrior and a slaughterer. You know what I mean? The giants of Elbaf don't have to be barbarians. They're allowed to have that warrior spirit. Dorian Broggy are an example of that. In fact, Dorian Broggy right now are protecting Elbaf. It's like the samurai in Wano. The samurai were seen as monsters, terrifying to the outside world, but the samurai were protecting Wano to the best of their abilities. Islands do need that strength for protection. And I think what's happening here is Harold totally removed that culture in Elbaf, or tried to remove that culture in Elbaf, and it was disingenuous. And it's a culture that the giants, they should be proud of. But because of what Harold has done with the world government, it's totally fucked them up. And that could be a reason for why Loki has this anger or this upset towards Harold, and why he killed him. And why Oda is presenting Elbaf as, it's not exactly a piece to like, because this piece isn't made out of genuine want for peace. It's made out of a mistake. You know what I mean? Because it's the fact that Dorian Broggy, like, are good. We like Dory and Broggy. Dory and Broggy represent the earlier generations of Elbaf, and they are inspiring. They are warriors that Usopp achieves and strives to be, you know? So I think it is tradition. It's not so much that tradition is important, but it's so much that your culture can still be maintained and your culture can still be a point of pride. You don't have to remove it completely to be, you know, in the current day. Like, you don't have to change your culture because of a mistake, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Like, culture can still exist in the current year, I suppose. This is what it feels like Elbaf is. It feels like Elbaf is losing a sense of its pride because of Harold. Because it's just interesting that Luffy and Usopp were upset when they got to Elbaf. Surface of the culture, what the culture is actually doing for the people. Because I was really confused about when we first got to Elbaf and everyone was peaceful and Luffy and Usopp were, oh, and I was like, Oda doesn't disagree with peace though. He's clearly a man who likes peace. He likes world peace. So why is he presenting Elbaf's peace as a negative or an upsetting thing? And now I'm starting to see why, or at least I'm guessing why. Because peace isn't really peace when it's made out of a mistake, I suppose. Or peace isn't really peace when it's a desperate attempt to fix something or to bury something. Big Mom's flashback that the elders disagreed with Harold's ways. Yarrow did, but after getting stabbed through the head, he forgot about it, which explains why he seems softer to Loki than most. Big Mom's flashbacks, the elders disagreed with Harold's ways. Did they say that? I don't remember that. The reason I think about Loki and Yarrow a lot is because Yarrow, sorry, I don't know how to say his name. The reason I think about them a lot is because I have a suspicion that Yarrow cared about Loki. And Yarrow seems to believe or has a feeling that Loki did what he did for a reason, right? And everyone went, no. But it seems Yarrow has a feeling that Loki has something good within him, or something of purpose that he's doing these things for. And he's the only one that seems to question that. And I think Yarrow does have a soft spot for Loki, but he's forgotten. Because he's got to have amnesia. Like, he's got a sword in his brain. He doesn't remember anything. It's just interesting because we're literally watching the older generation help Elbaf right now. Dory, Broggy, and the Walrus School, Principal Tusk are the ones trying to save Elbaf, or have the ability to save Elbaf right now, or help Elbaf. And again, Harold... Yeah, look, what I'm sensing from Harold here, but Gaban's a pirate, you know, Gaban's not a giant. I'm talking about giants with the culture of Elbaf. But what I'm sensing Harold has done here, I think he did a major oopsie poopsie, is he probably, in my thoughts, made a deal with the world government, realized he fucked up, and then immediately hard U-turned, and went, no, now we gotta be peaceful. It sounds like he really did paint a target on Elbaf and then left them vulnerable. That is truly what it sounds like. And even if he didn't mean to do that, what a fuck up. That's what it sounds like. Because it's fine to be like, whoops, that was a mistake. But then you've left Elbaf vulnerable if you're pushing, no, now we have to just be super peaceful. Now your kids are being kidnapped. Because this is a disingenuous peace. The children of Elbaf are now being stolen and barely anyone can do anything about it. Like, they are fucking lucky that the Straw Hats are here currently. Because, Elbaf, of course, is not what it used to be. Elbaf is struggling to protect its own. I don't know about Yarrow being a traitor. That would make me too sad. Mother Caramel's idea about trade over plunder is good, but we must not forget that we are warriors. Yeah, it sounds like... So that was Chief Yarrow, was it? Or was that the Yarrow? There's a Yarrow that died? Isn't there two Yarrows? Have I made this up? Have I made that up, that there are two Yarrows? Or were there two Yarrows? Is that just something I've created in my mind? That I might have misremembered? I thought there was a Yarrow that died. Yorl was the one who died. Okay, thank you. God. So who said the thing about Mother Caramel? Yarl or Yorl? Guy with 3 eyes. Yarl was the one that said it. Okay. If that's the case, then yeah, no, I do think that Yarl agreed with Loki then, if that's what he's saying. It sounds like Yarl did disagree with what Harold was doing. And because he disagreed with what Yarl was doing, it sounded like he would go lean more towards Loki. Yeah, no, Yarl does not sound like a traitor to me. Yarl definitely has... It feels Yarl has Elbaf's best intentions in mind. Or Elbaf's spirit in mind. I mean... King Harold wanting peace is fine, but here's the issue. The world is currently not at peace. And again, maybe he made a bet with the world government, who knows. But you cannot make a bet with the world government that, yeah, we'll give you our power, and then turn around and go, no, we're peaceful now. You've painted a target on your island. If that's what happened, he has painted a target on his island, and his people are now not safe. Because again, who are the ones protecting Elbaf right now? It's the elder generation of pirates, of giants, sorry. It's them. It's not the newer generations. They're being kidnapped currently. Do you know what I mean? Like, peace is good, but this is not a real peace. It's disingenuous, and that's the issue. It's fine. It's good to have peace. We should have peace, but peace means peace for all, not for one point of the world. Exactly. If you ignore the rest of the world, you're not really living in peaceful times. You're living in a peaceful area, and the rest of the world is bound to catch up to you if that happens. Gunko saying we are gods, yeah, is very interesting. Gunko saying I'm not a human, I'm a god. And it makes me wonder... Like, how literal is that? Not Gunko being a god, but Gunko not being human. Because I've had a suspicion that Gunko isn't completely human. But at the same time, we have seen Gunko listening to music. And remember what I said when I saw that? I said that is incredibly human. That is incredibly humanizing to have Gunko listening to music. Because music is human. Human music. So, I do believe Gunko is a human, but now I do, and maybe there's a complex that she has about that. Maybe she doesn't like her human side, and she wants to be a god. Do you know what I mean? She's told she's a god. She should be a god. yet she indulges in humanity. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because again, music is so human. Listening to music, that's humanity. That's her hobby, listening to music. She wants to be a saint? Yep, that sounds about right. She wants to be a saint. That's probably the best bet. Listens to Brook specifically. Yeah, Brook's got a connection here. He does, doesn't he? And this has been interesting to me because Brook has had a few close-up shots since shit has gone down. Have you noticed that? If you reread and go back in the panels, Brook gets a few moments of like ... and a little bit of focus. And I was a bit like, why are we getting a bit of Brook focus here? What's going on? And it seems Brook is aware of a certain history. Because again, if anyone can have a Whole Cake Island reveal, it's Brook. I'm not saying this is Brook's Whole Cake Island. I'm saying that Brook, it feels he has information that could be valuable. Because him knowing the Holy Knights is a big thing. That's a pretty big thing. Brook knew about the Wano Samurai. Brook knew about the Vinsmokes. Germa Kingdom. Brook now knows about the Holy Knights as well. There's definitely question of Brook's past here. Definitely. And this is true. Thriller Bark keeps being referenced in Elbaf. And that was Brook's story, Thriller Bark. Majorly. So it definitely could be pointing to Brook knowing of something. In before people theorized that Brook used to be a Holy Knight. I don't think that's true, but there's those theories are going to start popping up. I don't think it's true, but get ready for those theories. Yeah, Rage, you said you sure do know a lot. Brooks is suspiciously educated. It's just because he's old. He's old and he had a life before being a pirate that we haven't seen, and that's the interesting part. You saw someone saying that. There we go. I do have to wonder about Nami's shark attack, though. Thunder Shark. That's either Oda having fun, or that's in reference to something, and I just can't figure out what. It does look like Shirahoshi's shark. Pause. 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 It does look like Shirahoshi's shark. Oh my god, the Shirahoshi stocks are up. Good googly moogly. Pause. The Shirahoshi stocks are up. She's a shark clone. Wait, Tsubaki, that's so funny. You're probably right. That's really funny. No, wait, that's my favorite interpretation. She's a lone shark. That is so funny. That's definitely my favorite interpretation so far. Well, is there anything else to touch on here? Hang on, I gotta read through Gunko's whole monologue again because I was too busy laughing at the gags. One of the human intruders, blah blah blah. You dare call me human, we are gods. Also, NL mentioned, by the way. I bet the NL fans, all 10 NL fans got excited about that. Sorry, I know there's more of you. Hold your tongue, boy. We'd prefer a simpler method, but at that size, our options are limited. They'll have to walk. We will take them to the Holy Land. The Holy Night, the very same. You'll do no such thing. One day the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. That is really interesting. One day the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. But a small number of humans realized it and warned the world of the danger. And now it is unstoppable. No one can stop it. What's unstoppable? The countdown has begun. The countdown to the war, I assume. A vast war will ensue and drag the entire world into it, and which side the giants pledge their allegiance to will have a profound effect on the outcome of the war. Because here's what's interesting. She's saying... Because this is what got me. One day the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. So what are the world government for? Is it the world not ceasing to exist? I think that's it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? The flooding ocean... But it's the also we thought. What does she mean by that? Is she saying that the world can cease to exist, but they have found ways that to stop it? Because whatever, like, what is the end result of the war? Like, what does the world government want? And when I think about the mural and I think about how I saw Imu, it looked like Joy Boy and it could have been Imu in that mural. It sounds more like they don't want the world to cease to exist. I believe the world government want to keep the status quo. Because I think Joy Boy failed in the first war, the First World War. I think Joy Boy failed, and so the world government solidified. So when Gunko says, the world will cease to exist, or so we thought, it sounds more like they're trying to stop that. They don't want the world to cease to exist. But I don't know if the world government wants the flooding. That's my question. Because the flooding will connect people. The flooding... Because a lot of people think that Luffy will destroy the Red Line. At this point, I disagree. I think the Red Line will be flooded over. Because I don't know if the flooding is a bad thing, is my issue. We don't know if the government caused the flood. Why would they try to silence people about the flooding? Because then the world will come together to help each other. Here's my thing. Think about Water 7 and think about how Water 7 has that flood every year, once a year. What happens to the people on that island? They come together. They help each other. Correct? That was like a mini flood on one island. But if you don't exactly like allow the world to have that communication, they will fight instead. There will be no peace together. Dragon is saying that it's going to be a bloodbath to find land. That much is true, but this is because of people like the Celestial Dragons hoarding land, correct? So, well, lots of people can die, but think about fishmen. The world government clearly has an agenda against fishmen. And what do fishmen excel at? Swimming. I don't think the flood is a negative thing. I think what the world government is afraid of is people coming together because of the flood. I think the flood can create a sense of unity, but the world government is trying to put these seeds of doubt in to stop people coming together in unity. Because why the fuck is the world racist to fishmen when fishmen would have pretty good reign over the world? They can help people tremendously because of being fishmen. And yet, due to, like, created racism against the fishmen, people do not trust them. I don't think the flood's a negative thing. I think the disconnection of people is the bad thing, and that is what will get people killed. Because again, Water 7 was showing that everyone can survive if they prepare for it, if they know of it, if they work together as a community. Great things can come from it. But the world government doesn't want that. The world government instead will not tell people of the flood, and instead will allow everyone to die, because the world government doesn't want community. They don't want people unionizing. It would have been negative if the people didn't know and could not organize it. So why do you think the world government wasn't telling anybody? Do you see what I mean? I think the flood is history that used to be known, but now it's a piece of history that has been covered and buried because of the world government. The world government didn't want the world to know that it was flooding. They didn't want them to know that. Now the world knows. I personally just do not default to flooding as being a bad thing. I feel flooding is a cycle of nature. I don't think the world government has created the flood, because we don't know. Because, look, here's been my theory. That Luffy will not destroy the Red Line, but the Red Line gets buried underwater with the flood. And like once every 1,000 years or something, the Red Line vanishes and creates a flood that connects everyone with one sea. The sea connects people. This is a theme in One Piece. And that's the All Blue. So I do believe the All Blue exists. I just think it's a timed event. I think it's a once in an era kind of thing that you see the All Blue. And that's why it is such a mystery or such a legend that people say doesn't exist. Luffy destroying Fishman Island, I do not believe is literal. I think Luffy destroying Fishman Island means the Fishman Island will no longer need to exist, because fishmen will no longer need to exist under the ocean. They don't have to hide anymore. I don't believe that to be a literal destruction. I believe it to be a liberation. But the reason I say this is because the second I heard about the flood, I thought about how One Piece portrays the ocean. The ocean in One Piece is not a negative thing. In fact, the ocean in One Piece is such a positive thing that the world government tried to stop piracy. They wanted to stop the traveling of people across the ocean. Why? Because the ocean connects them. The ocean is what brings you home to your loved ones. The ocean is what lets you meet people, lets you see people. If we're all stuck on land together, we can't explore and go out to find the world, right? Again, that creates a sense of unity. The ocean brings trade. The ocean brings travel. The ocean brings family, friends. It brings love, right? Luffy loves the ocean for these reasons. He thinks something like the Grand Line is the greatest ocean in the world. Paradise and the New World He loves these oceans. Oceans also drown people, but that is just the life of a pirate. He's accepted that, right? But the ocean is something that still connects people in One Piece's world, hence why the ocean covers the world. The ocean is not the enemy. Ocean don't discriminate. Exactly, the ocean is not the enemy. I never thought it was. The ocean is something beautiful to One Piece. It always has been. I've always stated that the ocean in itself is a character in One Piece. Right? So when I heard of the Great Flood, I immediately jumped to, I don't see how this can just be a negative thing. Because I do not believe... The Puffing Tom is what connected people. Yes, over what? Over the ocean. It's about what you can find on the ocean. No, the ocean is not isolating them. So long as you travel the oceans, you are not isolated. What is isolating them is being stuck on land, thinking they cannot go out. Why do you think the world government wanted to stop the age of piracy? Why do you think that is? Why do you think Roger was such a threat to them? This man was traveling the world. Luffy loves the ocean. If the ocean were the enemy, why would our protagonist adore it? He can't even fucking swim. And he sees the ocean as the greatest thing in the world. Pirates bad, duh. The ocean is not the enemy, the ocean is what connects us. And not only that, globally, the ocean is what connects us as well. When you look at the ocean, you are seeing the same ocean that the person all the way across the world from you is seeing. Correct? The ocean literally presents freedom. That is the point. That's what the ocean is in One Piece. No, I don't think taking away the ocean would bring war. I think making people believe the ocean, or not allowing people to know of, you know, the nature of the ocean is what brings war. The only way you can travel the ocean in One Piece's world is if A, you're a marine, B, if you're a pirate. You either serve the world government to sail the ocean, or you become a pirate and an outlaw to sail the ocean. The world government knows that traveling that ocean creates unity. Luffy wouldn't have his family had he not traveled across that ocean. The Straw Hats wouldn't exist. Sanji's dream is the All Blue. That's the ocean. Somewhere out on the ocean, the One Piece exists. It's a fantasy. Roger is literally he encouraged people to sail. Why would Roger encourage people to sail if the ocean were the enemy? If land is just fine? I do not believe the ocean divides anyone at all. I believe the land is what divides people. Yeah, Saul saying the ocean is big and no one is meant to be alone. One Piece encourages travel, literally. It quite literally encourages travel like this. Because, look, again, it's the fact that the Fishmen exist in this world. They have the one-up in this world, with the world being covered in ocean. And the world government has clearly created a racism towards the Fishmen. Because the Fishmen would create an insane sense of unity. If the Fishmen were on good grounds with humans and anyone that lived on the surface, imagine the unity that the world would have. Imagine it. Right? But because there's an idea that Fishmen are bad, the world doesn't have that unity. The Fishmen, I believe, are there to help each other and to also help the humans, and the humans are there to befriend the fishmen. They are supposed to live in unity. This is supposed to be a symbiotic relationship, but we don't have it. They don't have it because of what's been planted in them to basically hate the fishmen, because this is definitely a government created thing. And in a sense, the sky is also the same, because there's also something to do with freedom and flying as well in One Piece. When you look at the ocean and when you look at the sky, you're looking at the same ocean and the same sky that the person all the way in the other end of the world is looking at. When you look at the land that you are on, you are not looking at the same land that your friend in, I don't know, Australia is looking at. But when I look at the ocean, I'm seeing the same ocean you're seeing. And that is the point. And I remember this struck me when I was reading the East Blue again for the first time, and Usopp, his arc opened with him looking out at the ocean because he loves it. He's always wanted to sail on it. You know why? Because that ocean connects him to his father. And that is something that's incredibly important to him. It doesn't matter how far you leave your home, and it doesn't matter how far you are from your loved ones, the ocean will always deliver you back. Yes, the ocean can be cruel. That much is true. It is still a force of nature, but in that same sense, the ocean can also deliver you back home. And that's something beautiful about One Piece, and that's something I believe it's always represented in One Piece. So again, when I hear about the flood, I do not hear a negative. I hear connection. But yeah, that was always my opinion of it anyway. Because a lot of people believe destroying the red line is the positive here. But the red line is still a place people can live on. Do you know what I mean? And I always thought that if a flood happened, it would take the red line with it. And isn't that a good thing? Floods do not destroy, floods grant life. Think of the Nile. When the Nile floods, what does it do? It fertilizes. Usually when anything on this earth floods, aside from global warming, that's part of nature. Water brings life. Flooding can bring life. That is totally untrue, that flooding destroys. It can destroy, don't get me wrong. But if we understand how nature works in the way the ancient Egyptians understand the way the Nile worked, that flooding can also bring life. It can bring fertilization. In the same way volcanic eruptions can destroy. What else can volcanic eruptions do? They fertilize. It's not about going against nature. It's about working with nature. Because yes, natural destruction can be a horrible thing. Like, it makes me think about the bushfires in Australia. The bushfires are fucking awful, and a lot of them is global warming, right? But the bushfires still exist in Australia, in Australian nature, to fertilize the soil. It is an act of nature before humans were ever here. Before creation comes destruction, exactly. And the thing is, the floods are caused by the world government. We don't know that. I do not believe the floods are caused by the world government. I believe it is nature. We don't know that the floods are caused by the world government. The ancient weapons, we have no idea if that caused the flooding. We don't have any idea. You're generalizing or you're just guessing. It can raise the sea level, don't get me wrong. Vegapunk's speech did not say that the world government is creating the flood. Show me where it says word to word, the world government is creating a flood. Again, it doesn't. We don't know that. There is absolutely no record that the world government are the ones creating the world flood. We didn't see that the Mother Flame created the flood. We saw that the use of the Mother Flame could have created that flood. It didn't. I don't know why you're swearing at me, man. Because it didn't. Go back and check. And you'll be surprised. There is absolutely no mention of the world government creating the flood. It doesn't exist. They are raising sea levels, that much is true. But raising of a sea level doesn't mean that they are creating the flood. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a massive flood and then there's global warming. Do you understand? There's nature and then there's human intervention. But it's incredibly possible that this flood is of the world. And it's not something the world government has created, but they are hiding that information. Natural disaster versus global warming. Again, don't get me wrong, natural disaster absolutely ruins lives. It kills people. I know this in the same way the ocean can too. But again, people helping each other is what goes past that. Do you know what I mean?
Howdy do, boys.
A natural disaster can be distressing, but that's also the earth. And that is still something that can bring life afterwards. And again, I don't see a flood as a negative thing in One Piece's world. Vegapunk saying the raising of the water was unnatural, not the flood. He said unnatural raising of the water was unnatural. He didn't say the flood was unnatural. He said there will be a flood. Who knows though? Look, I'm just like, this is just my thoughts, but I never saw One Piece's ocean being a negative. Because again, Water 7 witnesses a tsunami every year. And they prepare for it because they know. And again, that creates a sense of unity. We saw Water 7's flood brought that town closer. Aqua Laguna is natural. It is natural. But the rising of the water isn't natural, is it? So the rising of One Piece's ocean is not natural, but it's very possible the flood is. Again, there is nothing that says that the flood is unnatural. It just says the rising water is unnatural.
Howdy do, boys.
Not informing the... Look, it's not informing the world of the flood that is disgusting. The world government know that there will be a flood. And they don't inform the world of it. Well, look, for all we know, there is a flood that is caused. Chapter 11:15, Vegapunk said the flood is man-made. Hang on, let me have a looky-loo. What page? Do you know? Because, of course, the other thing is the destruction of the world. Destruction is not a negative thing in One Piece as well. It's too many variables, in my opinion, because, again, Luffy has the prophecy of destroying Fishman Island. I'm on 11:15. I'm looking for the page. Hang on, and on this same page, Vegapunk says, the world is made up of a series of islands. Sailing between them is difficult, and many people never experience anything but their own culture at home. And everyone knows the sea is dangerous. We are living on the pieces of a continent that existed long ago. It was a man-made disaster, he does say that. If such a cataclysm were caused by natural forces. As for why the sea level rose so much during that century, it would be natural to assume the work of a sudden natural disaster. But I can state for a fact that was a man-made disaster. If such a cataclysm were caused by natural forces, then the initial disaster would have spanned several centuries and inflicted slow but continual damage upon the world. But by any measurement, blah blah blah, this dramatic shift could not have happened within a single century, so the cause is something else. The rise in the worldwide sea levels the other day had my answer. The ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago. I see. Still exist today and await the moment that they stir once again. In other words, the vast war that arose during the Void Century never came to an end. Okay. I have been debunked. No, you are correct. But then, of course, this is my second argument. The destruction of the world has not been presented as a negative thing. So what do we do with that? Because remember, Nika also brings destruction. So now what? So this is, again, the problem. The man-made disaster caused the One Piece planet to respond with flooding. That also sounds possible as well. Well, see, I don't think it's a literal planet go boom destruction either. And that's the other thing. There's also the message of weapons do not inherently exist for evil as well because of Frankie. Hello. Because of Frankie and his story. So this is why it's like, I'll concede, yes, the flooding is not natural and Vegapunk has told us this, but now it comes down to the fact that Nika brings destruction. Luffy has been prophesized to destroy Fishmen Island, and we've got the lesson of weapons do not inherently exist for evil. So what do the ancient weapons originally exist for? And this is why his entire message is a theory? Oh! Because again, I'm thinking about Water 7, and I'm thinking about the way Water 7 works. Why would Oda show us an island that faces a flooding every year? A flooding every year that creates community just to then say, also now there's a whole world flood and bad. Do you know what I mean? Long Ring Longland is also something that faces flooding as well. That much is true as well. So this is exactly why when I heard of flooding in One Piece's world, and Wano as well, Wano's borders opening up with that flooding, Yeah, there's no way it could have happened this fast. All I know is, yes, the flood can kill people, but man-made or not, the issue is the world government not telling anybody. The world's culture is not attached to flooding because they don't know about it. Flood giveth and flood taketh away. Look, to this day, I still do not see the ocean. Yes, the flood will kill people in the world. It will, unless they know of it. Again, the disgusting nature of the celestial dragons and the world government isn't exactly the flood in itself. It's hiding that fact from people. Which is why Vegapunk has expressed this and talked of the flood. It's a fucked up conversation to have because Nika is also destruction. And again, destruction is not bad. And what I do think Oda will need to end up covering is the differences between good and bad destruction. Do you know what I mean? Because think about Ohara. That was fucked. But that was destruction in the name of hiding history. So what is good destruction and what is bad destruction? Which destruction brings liberation and which destruction is tyranny? Flevance Town law, that was bad destruction, right? Ohara was bad destruction. But then you have destruction of Arlong pirates and like their whole building. That was good destruction. You have destruction of Dressrosa to an extent. That was a good destruction. And it's why when I hear of the flooding and I think of the ocean in One Piece, and again, the ocean is not a bad thing in One Piece. I've never seen the ocean as a negative in One Piece because our protagonist loves the ocean. If our protagonist loves the ocean, why should I view the ocean as a negative? The ocean is harsh. Luffy knows this and he still loves it. He can't even swim, but he loves the ocean. For God's sake, Sanji got stuck on a rock when he was like 10. He was starved for 2 months and yet he still loves the ocean. He still has a dream of the ocean. The ocean is not a negative. So now the question is, when I hear Gunko saying, we thought the world was going to end, or so we thought, what side are they on? Are they on the destruction of the world or against the destruction of the world? It sounds like they're against it. Against it because they are the ones on top right now. Yeah. They see destruction as a great cleansing. Look, either way, here's the way I see it. The flood in One Piece's world can bring destruction, but it can also bring a new era. Because they have Noah's Ark in One Piece. They have the Ark. We have fishmen who exist in this ocean. The whales connected to this ocean as well. Multiple cultures of One Piece connected to the ocean. So when I hear of the flooding in One Piece's world, I just don't particularly see it as a bad thing. I see it as something that can create unity. Oh, I guess I didn't state this. I don't think the flood lasts forever. I think it goes back down. I forgot to state that. I don't think the flood just floods everyone and then the flood is there forever. Again, I think it's like a timed event. I think the floods existed in the past. People know of it. Hence the all blue being a thing that exists, and then it goes back down. The flood eventually leaves, because that's what floods do. I think it's an up and it's a down. Where will the water go? In a hole. I mean, they created Lulusia. They destroyed the Lucia and made a hole, and somehow the sea level went up. It's fiction. The flood can just go. Sometimes the flood can stay, yes. But the fact that the all blue is something that existed, it sounds to me like there was a flood in the past. And again, the fact that there's Noah's Ark, it just sounds like that the flood is something that is a force of nature, and it is something, as long as people are prepared for it, it will not cause destruction. Again, it'll cause unity. I just struggle to see the ocean as a negative in One Piece, is my thing. Because again, it's not a negative. Dreams are found on the ocean. Family is found on the ocean. I don't know. It's difficult because of all the themes that Oda has going on, that weapons do not inherently exist for evil, destruction doesn't inherently mean bad, and peace isn't always good. Do you know what I mean? Look, it's anyone's guess right now, but this is my guess currently, or this is my thought. My thought is that the flood doesn't necessarily have to mean end of the world. Or if it does, it doesn't mean end of the world in a literal sense. All I know is if our protagonist loves the ocean, then I'm not seeing the ocean as a negative. That's it. That's just my stand on it. If Luffy loves the ocean and he calls the ocean paradise, or parts of the ocean paradise, who am I to say, oh, the ocean's bad, it's evil, kills people? Yeah, they know. Anything on this earth can kill people, but the ocean is what brings Luffy to those he loves. But who knows? Either way, Gunko's whole speech was very interesting here. Because she says, one day the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. We don't actually know if whales are banging their heads on the red line, by the way. That's just Laboon. The other whales... Well, let's talk about the whales again. Yes, the whales had scars on their heads, but we don't know if they're banging into the red line. We don't. I'm sorry, it's a peeve I have. It's only Laboon that does that. It's not the other whales. And the reason Laboon was doing that is because he wanted to get to Brook. I don't know how the whales got their scars, But it's a generalization to say the whales are banging their heads on the red line when they're not. It's just Laboon. We need confirmation that they're all doing it. Because some of them don't have scars. And I asked, why do some of the whales not have scars then if they're all banging on the red line? And people said they gave up. They just gave up. Because don't get me wrong, I think it's a great theory, but it peeves me when people say it like it's a fact. It's not a fact that the whales are banging their heads on the red line. It's a fact that Laboon was doing it. But we haven't seen any other whale try to do that. They just exist in the currents. Whale peace. Trendsetter Laboon. And Laboon had different reasons for it. Okay, well then here's my question. If we're saying flood bad, and we're saying, oh, the destruction of land is bad, then why is the destruction of the red line fine? The Lunarians used to live atop the red line. The red line is so big that every part of the red line has its own climate. Wouldn't the red line create more homes for more people, especially in a world like One Piece, where One Piece is already lacking of land? So here's my argument. Why is the flooding bad, but the destruction of the red line is good? Either way, you lose land. So we do want more ocean, but we also don't want more ocean. Do you see what I mean? This has always been my confusion of it. You just need to destroy part of the red line. That's true. The people don't know what they want. Because I always thought the red line can serve as a home to so many people. But because of the world government residing on it, people cannot exist on the red line due to the celestial dragons. Not only that, the red line can create a form of travel, can it not? The red line does have life on it. It literally has climates. If the red line didn't have life, it wouldn't have climate. It wouldn't have different climates along the red line. And again, Lunarians used to live atop the red line. It used to be their home. My confusion with the destruction of the red line was always, but it seems the red line can create homes for people. If we're in a world like One Piece where land is so precious, why is the red line something to be destroyed? The red line is something that could be used as travel, but it's due to the world government that the red line is not something that can be traversed. Evil land! You can create a form of travel with the red line. It literally goes around the world. Hell, you go through the red line just to be able to travel the oceans. Or you go up and down, you know what I mean? You go on it. Don't get me wrong, I'm not for the red line. But this is why I'm saying, why are we saying a flood, of course, can kill people, but destruction of more land in One Piece is what's good if we destroy the red line? That's more ocean. Wouldn't that be, okay, so ocean is good? Do you know what I mean? No, not no islands anymore, just a way to travel across the world on land. Hiking. Because I never thought the red line could be the problem in itself. I thought the problem was the world government residing on it. I know we talked about this, but this is, destruction of the red line means more things than just the physical land. And wouldn't a flood destroy the red line? Or am I wrong? See, this is my confusion here. Isn't a flood a way to destroy the red line? We swim under the flood. No, I know the reverse mountain is difficult. But there are ways to get to the red line. Again, the Lunarians used to live atop it. This used to be a land that resided with life previously, and then they were colonized, they were kicked out. We don't know if Lunarians came from the moon. That's a theory. They probably did, but it's a theory. I just have to remind you of that. It's a theory that Lunarians came from the moon. It is! Unless it's said in text, I don't believe it yet. Look, I'm saying it's possible. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to state the facts here. I'm trying to remind everyone what's a theory and what's a fact. But it's a good theory. But just because Lunarians came from the moon and live on the red line, they should just be colonized? Like, do you know what I mean? The red line served as a home previously. I agree with removal of the red line, but my argument is the ocean clearly connects people. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, a great flood can be devastating. Only if you let it be. Only if you let it be. I'm not saying that the Great Flood is good. I'm saying that I don't think we should hard default to it being bad, especially on One Piece's world. That's the argument I'm making. They came from Mars. Lunarians could mean they worship the moon, by the way. It doesn't necessarily mean they came from the moon. But again, I'm for it, them being from the moon. You think history is important and a flood destroys history? But again, destruction... Do you see the issue? But Nika brings destruction, and destruction good. We don't know enough. This is the issue, we don't know enough. Does Nika destroy history? I don't think floods are necessarily trying to destroy history. I think the world government is. And who knows, maybe they are trying to use a flood to do that. Knowledge can be saved if people can be saved. True. Underwater doesn't mean destroyed. We have fishmen. Imagine if fishmen could read poneglyphs. They would be insane. Again, we are also in a world where fishmen exist. We have to remember this. It's not just normal people living in One Piece's world. There's also the existence of fishmen. Again, indicating that there is a symbiotic relation between humans and fishmen, in my opinion. There should be. Fishmen would live, but humans wouldn't. Yeah, if fishmen didn't want to help. Do you see what I mean? Humans can exist. The world can live with unity, with helping each other. Think about how much Oda cares about helping each other. There's a theme in One Piece of help. Helping is a good thing. Asking for help is a good thing. And it's just, this is why I'm getting a lot of because we're seeing flood bad, but ocean good. Flood will destroy, but destruction can be good. Gunko thought destruction of the world, or so we thought. So, what the fuck is going on? It just feels like we just don't know enough. Look, what I'm trying to elaborate on here is just don't put all your eggs in one basket. I personally am not on the side of flooding is good, by the way. I'm personally on the fence of the flooding can go two ways. That's what I'm on. I'm just trying to state that if you're stuck in one area, you're not going to see the bigger picture. And I think it's worth it. Haha, Easter reference. I think it's beneficial to be on the fence with things in One Piece. Because Oda can flip it when he wants. And this is just what I'm trying to say. Nothing that's 100% good or 100% bad, exactly. Especially when, again, the ocean, I think, has been presented as something that's joyful. The ocean takes, but the ocean also gives. This is nature. Being on the fence in general is not a good thing, but I'm talking about One Piece. I'm talking about the themes that Oda is showing us and what could happen. I'm talking about theories. Because look, my issue and the reason I'm talking about this is some people are dead set on, no, this is what's going to happen, this is what this means. Even though we don't actually know. I don't know if the flooding is good in One Piece, but I don't know if it's bad either. Because again, destruction, bad and good in One Piece's world. The ocean, bad and good in One Piece's world. That's just the only argument I'm trying to bring up. And the reason we're talking about this is because of what Gunko said. It's because of Gunko saying the world... where the freak did it go? One day the world as we know it will cease to exist, or so we thought. That's what's tripping me up. But Noah was also created, exactly. Thank you, Nino. So this is what I mean. I'm also seeing ways for people to survive a flood, such as the Noah, such as unity between fishmen and people. And I'm not seeing total negatives here. I'm seeing a way for the world to come together. But I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm repeating myself at this point. But this is why what Gunko said here is just, it's really interested me. Because there's clearly a war that's about to break out. There's clearly a war that's about to break out. The world government want the giants on their side because it will determine who will win. And what does the victor receive? It seems like the world government doesn't want the world to end. It seems like the victor does. The destruction of the world. And I just don't know. Look, all I know is for all we know, we could get to the Celestial Dragons. They could find out that a flood will be caused. And then Luffy will say, actually let the flood happen. Who knows? This is just what I'm trying to bring across. Who knows? Actually allow the flood. Because why were the ancient weapons created in the first place? If the ancient weapons can create a flood, what in the fucking world were they created for? Because we have the lesson that weapons are not inherently created for evil. So why do the ancient weapons exist? For flood? What is the purpose of the ancient weapons? It cannot just be evil flood. Like, maybe it's good flood. Allow the flood. Evil water. Depends on the use. But what else can the ancient weapons do? Like, what is their purpose? Is it just to flood? And if so, why? Look cool. Because I have a feeling that the ancient weapons are going to have a greater purpose and it won't be just evil flood. There will be a greater purpose. Because otherwise, why would Frankie hold on to the blueprints? He burnt them up, don't get me wrong. But there was clearly a point to them. And again, Frankie's story is weapons are not inherently made, or machines are not inherently made for evil. It's about how you use them. So what in the fucking world can the ancient weapons do that is good? What goodness can the ancient weapons bring? If Oda doesn't establish that, then Frankie's story is kind of null. And I don't think Oda will do that. I don't think Oda is going to make Frankie's story mean nothing. Luffy says, start the flood. Commence flooding. Luffy, no! Think of all the people that will die. Because what if it's, look, what if it's we have to destroy the red line, start the flood. I'm just saying, if that happens, remember me. Remember me. I love the ocean. Flood it. Soga King, flush it. Anyway, I'm not even dying on a hill is the thing. I don't even think the flood will be good, but I just don't think it will be permanently bad either. I'm just on the fence about what the flood could mean. Because the flood could very well bring about the All Blue. And I'm for Sanji. Luffy will go, flood will bring the All Blue. I got you, Sanji. Flood it. Press that button, Usopp. Flood it. Anything for you, Sanji. Yippee! Also, not to start this back up, but wouldn't destroying the red line make the sea levels rise again? Question mark? Is that wrong? The Lucia got wiped. The whales! The Lucia got wiped and the seawater went up. So wouldn't destroying the red line still make the ocean rise anyways? I think the whales just need to evolve legs. The whales have existed for how many fucking years and they're ramming the red line and they just haven't evolved legs. Be proper mammals like the rest of us. At this point, just grow legs, you know? You piss me off. Whales went back in the water. skill issue. Mammal has a hobby. Just evolve. I literally like the whales, but this whale-hating bit has made me laugh. She hates them. She hates the whales. Reject humanity, return to whale. Anyway, it's just food for thought. It's just food for thought. If this has made you think more about the flooding of the world in One Piece, I'm glad. That's all I want. I'm not Oda. I don't know. I'm conscious of when people go, no, we know. And I'm like, well, we don't. I just like being factual is my thing. I just don't like when people say their theories like it's a fact and then I get confused. And you know which one was the worst? Which one was the worst in all of that? Shiki for one. That one was pretty bad. But throughout my entirety of watching One Piece, was Zoro being the first mate. That's a headcanon. I went through all of One Piece waiting for him to be called the first mate by Luffy. And it never fucking happened. And I had to look it up. And I was like, he's not the fucking first mate. People just say he is. It's a theory. Yeah, but the live action's wrong. If you want Oda's own story, read the manga. No, Oda never calls him that. He even said he's not. He even said he's not. And this is why it peeves me so bad. When people are like, but this is it, and then it's a theory. And I'm like, you are making things so much more confusing for me. You are making things so much more confusing for me. Whale mate. Zoro's a swordsman, he fights. Shiki was a fucking pain in the ass. Oh, Zoro kills Kaido. No, that one was just funny because that one was... But that's a good example of if you bet on the theory too hard, you are going to start hating the series. Some people were really fucking angry that Zoro kills Kaido didn't happen, and then they started hating One Piece. Like, that is where the hate started. Right? And this is my issue. This is why I always say I don't expect things, I just hope for things. That's just what I'm trying to say. It's absurd. That's just what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say, guys, don't expect things, just hope for things. Otherwise you get Wano is Zoro's whole cock island. But it should have been! No! Not the Freudian slip! Oh my god! That was awful! Sorry. Otherwise you get Wano is Zoro's whole cake island. Egghead is Frankie's whole cake island. Elbaf is Usopp's whole cake island. 3 for 3, it's not happening. And now there are some people mad at Elbaf because it's not looking to be Usopp's whole cake island. Because they expected it to be. Even though 2 times previously it didn't happen. I'm not expecting Elbaf to be Usopp's whole cake island. I'm also not hoping for it, you know what I mean? Like, if it ends up being Usopp's whole cake island, that's fine. But why are we so hell-bent on it? Why? I just don't understand. Oda reads theories. My god. Anyway, the reason I'm talking about this now is because just be safe out there, guys. Be careful. You love One Piece and have theories, but if you think my theory is definitely it, and then it doesn't happen, guess what? You're gonna start going, grrr. That's what happened with Zoro kills Kaido. So many people turned off of One Piece when Zoro didn't kill Kaido because they were mad that what they wanted to happen didn't happen. And I think that's a dangerous road to trudge on. Because then you lose a sort of love for the series that you shouldn't be losing. You're just losing it because you didn't get what you wanted. And it was never promised either. It was never promised. Why were they so invested in such a bad theory? Because that was Zoro's whole cock island. And he didn't even get to beat the big chief. He didn't even get to beat the big dick. How sad is that? Awful. Zoro's lore being dropped in a random SBS. Oda said, oh my god, it doesn't matter. I've never seen Oda go like, it doesn't matter more than that. He was so fucking tired of people asking for Zoro's family tree. He said, fine. He said, it's not relevant, but since you want it so bad. There were a lot of people that were really upset about that, and I kept saying, he put it in an SBS because it's not relevant. It's just a fun fact. Zoro is beautiful and exists as a great character outside of his blood. He's allowed to just exist as Zoro no Zoro. Manhunter. Man killer, you know? Here, damn. Zoro doesn't give a shit about it. Zoro doesn't go, oh, my mom, you know? Luffy, I miss my mom. Idiots. I don't even think he fucking knew who his mom and dad were, personally. What other melegenders are there? This was a good conversation to have, though. But yes, no. So now we do know that Vegapunk is saying that the flood is man-made. So yes, that definitely does change my viewpoint, but it still doesn't change the idea that the flood could still not be the worst thing in the world, and it doesn't mean that it has to not happen. Because again, then the ancient weapons and the things, it's just too much. One Piece is a real thinker. A real stinker. Flood good, flood bad. Flood sit on fence. I have a mum. How are we doing on Luffy's mum's theories, by the way? What's going on out there? I'll never forget the theories that I heard someone have at a convention. The theory was Luffy and Boa are related, and that's why Boa's power didn't work on Luffy. I sure do think about that a lot. I sure do think about that a lot. They were like, Boa's power is pheromone related. And that is just untrue. That is untrue. It's feelings related. Now we know. Because Blackbeard said Boa's wasting the power that she has. Yeah, what if we flood Mary Joie? Is it still bad? I sound like I'm like dying on the hill of flood good, but I'm just not. I just want people to think about it more. No, my theory, I need my point to stick. My theory is Crocodile is the missing Amazon Lily Empress. I'm sticking by that one. I'm sticking by that one. The missing Crocodile Empress is Crocodile? The missing Amazon Lily Empress is Crocodile. And Crocodile was a man. Wanted to be a man. Was a man. Met Ivankov. Found freedom in being a man. Couldn't go back to Amazon Lily, obviously. Because Crocodile has an affiliation with animals. To a big extent. Especially reptiles. Who the fuck else has that affiliation? As an island, as a culture. Amazon Lily. They literally have like animal keepers as part of crews. My personal belief is Crocky was the missing Amazon Lily Empress, but Crocky was a man. No Flamingo. Oda revealed a name and a silhouette but didn't reveal what happened to her. It's a mystery of what happened to her. Also, the fact Crocodile calls himself Sir Crocodile, really reinstating that Sir. Crocodile, it's simple. Crocodile had gender envy. Crocodile wanted to be a man and was a man. So, he ran away from Amazon Lily and met Ivankov. And he said, that's it, I'm now Sir Crocodile. Gloriosa was before, so first. Shaki was second. So, Gloriosa, Shaki, Tutoria, whatever her name was, and then Boa. We have fucking no... Tritoma. We have fucking no idea what happened to Tritoma. None. No idea. Same rate of high. Titoma. For now, my theory is Crocodile's the missing Amazon Lily Empress. It's mainly because Crocodile has an affiliation with animals, especially reptiles, to such a big extent. And that's an Amazon Lily thing. SBS Baby Croc play into the theory. Baby Croc looks very androgynous. Look at Seraphim Croc. Seraphim Croc looks so androgynous. I always thought. Tritoma is, yes, Tritoma is older than Hancock. Crocodile's like 40. Bo is 30. No, Bo is 30. Crocodile's 40. Bro, Crocodile's in his 40s. That's my old man. Where's Bertha? Bertha is like the #1 crocodile person. I know this because Crocodile's older than Doflamingo, and I remember that blew me away. I was shocked. Because Crocodile's aging 1,000,000 times better than that feral creature. Tritoma doesn't look anything like Crocodile. It's called hormones. Look at what happened when Iva changed people. Iva does good work. Iva the miracle worker, literally. What estrogen... More like what testosterone can do. Anyway, this is my theory. You know what? I don't die on many theories, but I'm pushing that boulder. I will die on this one. I will die on the theory that Crocodile is the missing Amazon Lily Empress. Iva doesn't miss. I also died on the hill of Gabun, and I was right. I know, fence sit for everything else. I'm not fence sitting for this. Fence sit for all other theories. I'm not fence sitting for this one. Like, all my other theories I'm fence sitting. Such as Shidoshi being Loki's phone friend. I'm a fence sitter for that. I just think it's possible, but I don't know if that's the case. But it's just funny that Crocodile could be the missing Amazon Lily Empress. I think it'd be cute if Loki's phone power... Where are the Stinkmen? By the way. This is pissing me off. By the way, people saying, but we already got the name of the Amazon Lily Empress. I've heard of Crocodile changing his name? You know, something that usually a trans person does. They change their name because now they're actually who they are. Why is everyone so hung up on the name? Bro, he's Sir Crocodile. You think he's Sir Crocodile at birth? You think he came out of the womb to be called Sir Crocodile? Assigned Sir at birth. Shamrock didn't kill the Stingmen. Don't say that. I'll miss them. Sir Little Mel. They claim that Chotoma died, but Gloriosa is also someone they're hiding as a former empress. Remember, Gloriosa shouldn't be on Amazon Lily. Gloriosa, thank you for the sub, by the way. Died of love sickness. Technically, so did Gloriosa. And look at that. Look what happened there. Sounds like a lie to me. Stigman died of love sickness? Anyway, we've gone off track. We were talking about Gunko. How do we feel? Oh, fuck, this is what I was gonna say. The thing about... You can't see. The thing about, Sommers and what he's saying here. I am pretty sure I feel in my brain. I feel in my brain and I feel in my heart that Oda is fucking us with Sommers. He's fucking around. You know why? Because I even say it, I'm still making my review video for the last 4 chapters, holy fuck. But Sommers is saying this is the guy who should have died at Ohara. Already, how funny is that? But previously, Sommers said there's real emotion in killing. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at this man being a sadistic freak, and I'm thinking, Oda's fucking with us. He's fucking with us. Because the man who is a sadistic freak is saying, yeah, killing is emotion. And we know that Oda wants to create a manga that creates emotion not just through killing. Right? Which is crazy. So now he's created this literal insane antagonist who's saying, yeah, killing's emotion, and who has now just said this is the guy who should have died at Ohara. I don't know if Oda is starting to get sick and tired, but it kind of feels like he is. It kind of feels like he's starting to get tired of it all. Because again, I always bring this up, but I'll never forget his interview with Gear 5 and how he said, everyone's trying to make shonen serious these days. I'm not. Because he basically said people are probably expecting they were expecting Gear 5 to be serious. No. I'm never letting Luffy be serious. It sounds like he's fucking tired. Like, it sounds like he's so done with people trying to push this edginess onto One Piece, and now he's using an antagonistic character as like a showing of that. which is just absolutely hilarious to me. This is the guy who should have died at Ohara. There's real emotion in killing. And then Somers literally talks about how one of his hobbies is just shooting people dead when they get a note wrong. It just really feels like Oda's just done. He's like, oh, you don't get it? I don't care anymore. Somers laughs at Happy Tree Friends. This much is true. Gear evil. No. I'm not saying Oda's tired of writing One Piece. I'm saying Oda's tired of people pushing what they are like demanding or what they are saying will make One Piece better. Do you know what I mean? One Piece would be better if he killed people. I think he's fucking tired of it. Like, I think he's tired of it, because this isn't just a Western thing. It's not just a Western thing. He just cracks me up. Look, ever since I saw the interview of him saying, everyone's trying to make shonen more serious these days, I'm not. I was like, oh, he's fucking off the rails. He's not letting anyone stop him now. He's not letting anyone stop him now. He's gonna write what he wants, and damn it, we will enjoy it. And I think that's just so hilarious. And he stays silly. Because, like, look, the reason that interview gets me so much is because of his awareness of people. He quite literally said that he knew people were wanting or expecting Luffy to have a serious power-up because he's aware of the culture around shonen right now, and that just seemed to upset him as an author. That seemed to upset him to the point that he really made a statement with Gear 5. And I think that's a good thing as an author. It's good to stick to your own creation and to what you want to do. That's what keeps your writing for yourself enjoyable. Gear death. Yeah, Oda even said, he didn't say he hated during the fights, but he said as you get older, during fights becomes more boring. He said it becomes more tiresome. That's why Egghead cut away from so much. Because he clearly said, I don't fucking care. He said, I don't fucking care. Let's get on with the actual story. That's my goat. That's my goat. Because I'm the same. Unless the fight has a narrative meaning or a character meaning to it, I kind of don't care about it that much. Which is why One Piece is so special, because I actually enjoy watching the fights. Gear death. Anyway, no, Somers, I'm really liking Somers. I am really liking Somers. Somers is such an enjoyable antagonist because it's everything Oda hates. It's the manipulation of love, and it's the joy in death, in like killing. Somers is everything Oda seems to despise. Everything Luffy seems to despise. I can see Luffy absolutely fucking hating Somers to like an insane degree. So, I do hope we get a lot more Somers, especially talking to Luffy, because Somers is such a fun villain. He's just so sadistic. Currently, Somers is probably one of my favorite villains that Oda's come up with. I know that's early to say, but he's just, every time he's on screen and he says something, I'm enjoying it. Currently, I have no thoughts on killing him, by the way. Killing him is like, eh. Like, I don't hate him, but I don't, like, care about him much. His power is cool, but, like, I don't think about him right now. You know what I mean? Killing him, to me, is the weakest link right now. He's got a cool power, but I don't have much interest in him. Gunko is insanely interesting. And Shamrock obviously is the shining, like, my spotlight's on him. I'm very interested in Shamrock. Also, Bleep, I see you keep telling me to check the SBS, and I know that, but that SBS doesn't disprove anything for Crocodile, in my opinion. Not to me, anyway. Like, I know that SBS exists. That SBS is why I was like, oh, that could be Crocodile. It has an image. If Crocodile has changed body, why would he look the same? Do you understand? The image doesn't mean anything. Because if Crocodile has been Ivankov'd, that is not what Crocodile looks like at all anymore. So why does that mean anything? That SBS doesn't disprove anything to me. It just shows there is a missing princess or empress of Amazon Lily. We've seen what Ivankov can do. Ivankov can totally change someone's, like, form. Completely. Ivan cooked. Anyway. My Crocodile stocks. But yeah, so, for now, Sommers is absolutely my favorite Holy Knight. By far, it is my favorite Holy Knight. He is my favorite Holy Knight. Shamrock aside, because Sommers is just the height of evil, especially for One Piece. And I am really excited to get my chapter review out, not for this, but for the next, for the previous chapters that I missed, and I'm so sorry that I've been late for that. I was sick and I couldn't keep up. So the next video to come out is going to be an over 30-minute video about the 4 chapters that I missed. And then I'll immediately move on to the review for the current chapter. I will be finishing the theory video, I'll be finishing the chapter review for 1142 to 1145 tonight. And then I'll immediately start working on 1146. The whale theory. This VOD's gonna piss a lot of people off, watch. There's gonna be so many people that are gonna be like, she thinks the flood's a good thing. Not what I said. Not what I said. She hates the whales. Grow legs. Walk. Be a higher mammal. Like us. What's so wrong with that? Whales! Anyway. I do got a cat cover. Nice, right? Okay. Sorry, it's not that serious, guys. It's not that serious. This chapter overall was a good chapter. Not one of my favorites, but still a fun one. And a chapter that is again, it's more exposition chapter. It's more the happenings of Elbaf right now, the actions of Elbaf right now, right? So I'm excited for the next chapter because, like, the fact that Oda's going from this to the next chapter without a break usually means, okay, like, we're gonna get to something big and then we're gonna go on a break, because that's what he does. Oda was making princesses with pink hair before I existed. My doyoyoing fringe. Oh. But I truly believed Oda was watching me when it was Gaban. I'm kidding, it's fake. No, Oda does not know I exist. Oda does fuck. Oda doesn't know I exist. That's fine, because I like One Piece, so who cares? Arlong, evolve! Maybe Oda does exist, because I think he does exist. Maybe Oda does exist. Holy fuck. Guys, have we thought about this? Never mind, I'm just gonna end this stream. Okay, I'm getting in my box. Maybe he does. Source. Enough, you're cracking me up. Alright. Anyways, so yeah, so Luffy will cause the flood for Sanji so the All Blue can happen. That's confirmed. That is in chapter 1112 of the manga. Check it. He says it. Actually, the editors wanted wanted Oda to add that in. No, sorry, the editors stopped Oda from adding that in. Anyways, I'm going to come back and keep streaming my editing process, by the way, guys. It's not going to be a long stream because I'm basically done. But I'll be back and we can keep chatting. And again, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. And I never claimed I was smart, just for the record. I never claimed I was intelligent. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next stream in like 20 minutes. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.